What is going on, guys? Kyle Masters here from Noah's Bard Wrestling Podcast. I wasn't able to do the Fastlane review. It was only my co-host, Corporate Cappy, so he did a review for me, so this is just an intro to it. So, Corporate Cappy, take it away with the Fastlane review.
I be in my zone. I got this, I'ma do it all alone. I don't need your help, I do it on my own. I got this, cause I be in my zone. Somebody watch this, I got this.
What is going on, guys? Welcome to another episode of No Holds Barred Wrestling Podcast. I am your host, not Kyle Masters for once. This is your co-host, Corporate Cappy, doing the review for Fastlane, as that's just what's best for business, you know. Sometimes you need to change the scenery. So we're just gonna jump right into the review. I don't understand this. The fucking pre-show was Alberto Del Rio versus Kalisto in the 2 out of 3 falls match. Why the fuck is this in the pre-show? Like, honestly, I don't understand why another match was not in the pre-show. Like, this match deserves to be on the card. A 2 out of 3 falls match between Del Rio and Kalisto could put on one hell of a match. And for this to be on the pre-show, it just, I don't know. To me, it made no sense. I feel like you're underestimating the draw ability of both these guys. And yeah, I have nothing else to say about that except going into the match. The first fall we had Kalisto winning because Del Rio used a chair outside the ring. Like, he got thrown out to the barricade and he grabbed the chair and just hit Kalisto with it. So Kalisto wins by DQ. Like, are you fucking serious? Like, I guess it's a good tactic by Del Rio to, you know, try to soften his opponent up. But I mean, to win a fall off of a count out, I was just like, wow, this is just stupid to start the match. And so they get back. So Kalisto wins the first fall, and then before they can even ring the bell for the second fall, Del Rio just starts kicking the shit out of Kalisto, throwing him off every part of the outside barricade, getting him back in the ring, and just continuing to beat the shit out of him in the corner. The ref finally is able to get Kalisto back to his feet and start the second fall, even though he's basically out of it. And then Del Rio kind of hits like a double knees in the corner, not his finisher, but just like a double knees in the corner, kind of like similar to what my girl Sasha Banks does. And yeah, he pins Kalisto for the second fall. And yeah, so it's 1-1 going into the third fall, and Kalisto's already like basically down and out of it. Del Rio tries to go for like a superplex off the top rope area, and I don't know, I thought Kalisto was going to counter it in the Salida del Sol. He kind of did like the Salida del Sol like movement, but he landed hard first, and I guess it was a top rope move by Del Rio that worked. So, not sure what happened on that spot. And then going into the end of the match, it was just ends a terrible way to end a terrible match, and just a terrible way this match has been booked. Del Rio tried to go for his finisher in the corner. Kalisto like kind of just dodged it, as you basically just fucking put your hands down and you can dodge the damn thing. So yeah, he just dodged it. Del Rio tried to hit him again. Kalisto kind of hit him in like a hurricanrana into the top of the turnbuckle, and then wins over Del Rio with a fucking roll-up. A roll-up to end the 2 out of 3 falls match. So 2 out of the 3 falls were a disqualification and a roll-up. Are you fucking kidding me? Like, this is not the right way to book these two guys. Like, they're supposed to be having a really good match on the card. And not only do you put them on the pre-show in a 2 out of 3 falls match, you make just the worst way to end the falls in this match. It was just, the whole match just had me sour. Not only just because Del Rio lost. I mean, if he would have lost, then it would have been a good match. I wouldn't have been upset about it. But the fact that his losses in the match were a disqualification and a fucking roll-up is just, terrible pre-show. I went on way too long about it, but I felt that it had, there was some stuff that was good out of it, and this match definitely could have been a great pay-per-view quality match, but nope, WWE decides to put it on the pre-show, so I guess that's what was best for business, so gotta go with that. And then to open the show, I couldn't think of a better way to open the show than having my girl Sasha Banks come out, opening the show. This was, like, unbelievable. She got a really good pop, actually. And so, yeah, we had the Sasha and Becky match versus what's left of Team Bad and Naomi and Tamina. And basically, for most of the match, it was just Naomi and Tamina just beating the shit out of Becky Lynch. And then every time she would get close to Sasha, either Naomi would pull her off the ring apron or they do some kind of like shady shit. And Becky got thrown out to the outside a couple times for near 9 counts. Barely got back into the ring. And then she finally tagged into Sasha. This match went on for about, I could say, 10 to 12 minutes for a Divas tag team match, which is pretty interesting. And so Sasha gets in the match, and she starts beating the hell out of Naomi and Tamina because Becky's basically out of it. So then Tamina kind of distracts Sasha as she was going for the bank statement on Naomi. Really physical between Naomi and Sasha that we've seen in the last couple weeks. I really like that. They're taking like real hits at each other, which is awesome. So Tamina kind of distracts Sasha, and then Sasha chases her around the ring, comes back in the ring, and gets rear viewed by Naomi. And I'm thinking, oh fuck, here we go. Here's the ending of the match. And Sasha kicked out of the rear view. I was like, no way, this is unbelievable. So then Becky gets back in the ring, tries to hit Tamina. And then the match keeps hits Naomi. The match keeps going on, and then Tamina was kind of going for like a Samoan drop, and Sasha caught her, like just smashed her down on the ground into the bank statement. And as the bank statement's applied, Naomi tries to get back in the ring, and Becky comes out of nowhere and locks on the disarmer. So, excuse me. There's two finishers going on at the same, or two submissions going on at the same time. Obviously, Tamina and Sasha are the legal women in the match, so Tamina taps, and Sasha and Becky win the match. So, great way to start the show for me, at least. My girl Sasha finally, getting over in a pay-per-view match. Hopefully, we'll see some big things, maybe a fatal 4-way match at WrestleMania, or I just hope Sasha's in the picture at some point. I expect her to win the title at WrestleMania. It's kind of like the slow build she's had. She hasn't really had her shot yet, unlike other people's favorite divas, like our host Kyle Masters over there. Sorry, my diva can't get a chance at the title her first match on Raw like Paige did, but no, I'm just joking. But so yeah, Becky and Sasha pick up the win, even though they're not friends. They were unified in kicking what's left of Team Irrelevant Bad's ass. So there you go. Moving into match number 2, we had Kevin Owens versus Dolph Ziggler. Probably one of the 2 matches of the night. Just a lot of good spots back and forth. Dolph Ziggler during the match, they were really pushing in this match like Ziggler was like the hometown favorite because he was from Cleveland, even though he was still billed from Hollywood, Florida. So he even had like some Cleveland trunks on and everything, or pants on, so he was trying to play to the hometown crowd. And it was basically split half and half. A lot of Ziggler and Owens chants back and forth. During the match, at one point, Owens, it was kind of funny, he's like, see, they're chanting for me even more than you. So just a lot of trash talking by Kevin Owens as usual. The match goes on, just, there wasn't really anything that was out of the ordinary of the last couple matches we've seen out of them. It just went on for a good 10 to 15 minutes, really good back and forth spots. It looked at a couple points that Ziggler was going to win the match. A lot of super kicks, actually. At one point, Ziggler even, tuned up the band like Shawn Michaels, like he was going for a Sweet Chin Music. And Owens countered that, and he just did a pop-up powerbomb to win the match. to retain the IC title, which I know Kyle Masters will be happy about. But he didn't even throw him off the ropes like he usually does for the pop-up powerbomb. He just kind of like picked him up in the air and just kind of like powerbombed him. So that was interesting. So that was actually a good match. I would say it was about the same as the first match that they had on Raw, except the fact that it didn't win with Ziggler winning off some bullshit. But yep, that was a good pay-per-view quality match. I give it a thumbs up for that. And then going into the next match was when I'm sure everyone went to take a piss break. We had the Wyatts versus Big Show, Kane, and Ryback. I know Kyle Masters in his predictions video, if you watched that on No Holds Barred Wrestling Podcast, you would saw that Kyle Masters was not looking forward to this match, and neither was I, and I don't think anyone was. This match doesn't have any appeal to it whatsoever. Like, this is terrible. And there really wasn't anything interesting in this match. Bray Wyatt was just sitting at ringside. Probably the funniest part of the match was when Braun Strowman came over and stole Byron Saxton's announce chair, and Byron Saxton just looked like he was just, like, shitting his pants. And so, yeah, he kind of gave that to Bray Wyatt to sit on, and that was basically the highlight of the match. It was basically the Wyatts just beating up on Ryback most of the match, and then near the end of the match, it starts to break down. They all get outside the ring. And then Big Show spears Braun Strowman, like, near the ramp, which was a pretty big impact spear. And then they get back into the ring, and Luke Harper is in there with Ryback, and Bray Wyatt distracts Ryback, so I thought that was the end of the match, but then Kane came over and just gave Bray Wyatt, like, one of those vintage Kane uppercut things. And then, I don't even know what the hell happened to end this match, but, like, it looked like Ryback just kind of, like, he didn't even get the full shell shock off. Like, he countered Luke Harper's, like, powerbomb attempt, and he just kind of, like, Harper just kind of, like, fell over, and he was kind of, like, looked like he hurt his shoulder on it, because Ryback didn't even get it off, like, completely clean. He kind of just, like, fell off his back, and that was the end of the match, and you're not hearing this wrong. Ryback, Big Show, and Kane beat the Wyatts. How the hell is this supposed to make the Wyatts look strong? You're just burying them again on a fucking... Oh my god. On another pay-per-view, you're just burying the Wyatts for whatever reason. So, yeah, congrats to Big Show, Kane, and Ryback. I'm sure that'll be one of the topics on Sunday Night Heat for next week, as that was a terrible match. Definitely 2 thumbs down for that match. Snooze fest, garbage... any adjective you'd like to describe it with, yeah, that's your own choice. Match 4, we had Charlotte versus Brie. The build-up to this match was actually pretty decent, with the whole Daniel Bryan storyline, things like that. The match itself, though, I felt like it kind of dragged on a little too long. I think it was about 7 minutes long, 7 to 10 minutes, and it was just kind of like a lot of Charlotte just kind of holding Brie in this, like, submission holds and things like that. Brie tried to start the Brie mode thing, kind of got the knee in the corner and started doing her Daniel Bryan yes kicks. Interesting note, though, she had the Daniel Bryan, like, the same boots that he wore at WrestleMania 30 when he won the title. Like, the fur that's on the back of his, that was on the back of his boots, she had that same, like, padding on it, so she was, like, paying homage to Daniel Bryan. And then at another point in the match, she actually hit get the yes lock in, and then, she kind of couldn't hold on to it, and then kind of got, like, another leg, submission hold on there. And then her leg was damaged earlier from some kind of, like, drop kick she did. It was some kind of spot that they kind of just said that she got injured when clearly she wasn't injured, but they had kind of threw the injury spot in there, and she couldn't hold on to the finisher because her leg gave out or some bullshit, and then Charlotte reversed it into the figure 8 and won the match. That's basically all I can say about that. Hopefully they do some kind of match involving Sasha, Becky, something at WrestleMania that's actually good, so Charlotte can finally lose the title. I think she's held on to it for far too long now, and I think it's time for her to lose it. So yeah, Charlotte retains in the 4th match of the night. Then after that, we had a backstage segment between Roman Reigns and Dean Ambrose. Just a quick little segment that basically talked about them saying that they're going to beat up on Lesnar, and then after that, it's every man for themselves, and saying like the Brotherhood's intact, but anything goes for the shot at the world title. So yeah, it was basically just a quick segment just to show that they were united as brothers, but there's some dissension there because they both want to win and go on to WrestleMania. So then going into the next match, we had Chris Jericho versus AJ Styles 3, probably the match of the night. If you didn't get to see this match, go back and watch it. It was definitely, in my opinion, the match of the night. A lot of good spots in the match. It actually went on for a good amount. There was actually some times in the match where the action like spilled out to the outside, and it looked like a couple times where there might have been a count out, but AJ Styles pulling out some nice moves. Basically his like Pele kick. He actually got the Styles Clash off on Jericho, but Jericho kicked out of the Styles Clash, which was crazy. And at another point in the match, Styles kind of goes up top on top of on top of the ropes, and Jericho like gets up and like he doesn't hit Styles off the ropes, but he kind of like drop kicks the ropes so Styles goes flying. So that was kind of a cool counter there. And then we thought this was going to be the end of the match. Styles was on the outside of the ring, and Jericho kind of was on the inside, and he hit the code breaker on him. And Styles' leg was apparently underneath the rope, so the ref didn't like stop the count at 2. So we thought that was going to be the end of it. And then Styles ends up hitting his submission finisher onto Jericho. Pardon me, I don't remember the actual name of the submission. I'm sure Kyle Masters will know the name of his actual finisher because I'm not too familiar with AJ Styles yet. And yeah, he wins with the submission move on Jericho. So yeah, AJ Styles takes the rubber match, and I assume this was going to happen. Jericho just comes back to basically, put people over now, and it made sense for AJ Styles' career. To have Jericho put him over to make him seem like a very sought-after talent and somebody that can go on to bigger and better things. After the match, Jericho kind of pulls him off the ring after he was off the turnbuckles as he was celebrating, and it looked like he was going to hit him again, but instead Jericho shakes his hand and they both leave. No heel turn, no nothing, just a show of respect between the two competitors. And I think that's what everybody expected. I'm not sure what the plans are for Y2J at WrestleMania, or if he's going to be done for a while after this, but he's definitely had 3 great matches with AJ Styles, and I think that was a good nostalgia match for anyone that is a big fan of wrestling like we are, to have AJ Styles versus Chris Jericho that we thought we'd never see. We got to see it 3 times, and the 3rd match was definitely the best of them all. Definitely my match of the night, so, good job for both these guys. Hopefully AJ Styles goes on, maybe faces Kevin Owens at WrestleMania for the IC title, who knows, but great way to end the feud there. And then next we had the next hour of the show, that ended at 10 o'clock, and I'm thinking, what the hell are they going to do for the next 2 hours, or the next hour, to end the show? I was thinking they had Reigns versus the triple threat match, but that's not going to last an hour long. So then we had the Cutting Edge Peep Show with New Day, and this was actually a pretty funny segment. At one point, Edge just said, "Can I be serious for a second?" paying homage to Lance Storm, former WWE superstar. A couple of the fans in the crowd found that funny, who actually know who Lance Storm is. And they kind of get interrupted by New Day after they were saying that this was the first time that Edge and Christian had won a tag team ladder match or something like that, or the first time they've received a standing ovation, and New Day just kind of interrupts them. And it was fucking hilarious. At one point, the Edge and Christian started talking about how bad their gimmick was when they first debuted, and then he said a line where he was like, "I don't understand how so much chocolate can be so vanilla," referring to the color skin or the skin color of all three members of New Day, and saying how vanilla they were, which is a WWE term for how boring or like generic a tag team was. So the crowd found that really funny. So there were a couple just bickering back and forth, and New Day just kind of just making fun of Edge and Christian because they're old. And then, and then Christian at one point made fun of Kofi. He said, kind of like where your fake Jamaican accent went, which was fucking hilarious. Going back to Kofi Kingston's days when he was the SOS Jamaican champion, which was pretty funny that they brought that up. And for whatever reason, they start talking about Sheamus. And then the fucking League of Nations comes out. I don't understand why the League of Nations comes out in this, but they do. And then the New Day just kind of says, okay, we're just going to leave the ring now. And then the League of Nations starts saying that they're going to beat the shit out of Edge and Christian. Or they tell them to leave the ring or whatever. And Del Rio kind of starts talking to Edge about, he ended his career already, I can hurt you again, things like that. And then they kind of just leave the ring. It was a really pointless end of the segment. And then Edge and Christian are like up on the ramp with New Day again, and then they just kind of like start celebrating. I don't know what the fuck this segment was. Why is New Day gonna feud with League of Nations now? Like they're both heel tag teams. I don't understand. Maybe it was just to get them all on the show at some point. This was really, really pointless. The ending of it was kind of funny. Edge just kind of like grabbed a bunch of dollar bills and just started like spraying them out, like, making it rain. Just a bunch of dollar bills on the ramp. I don't know. This was just a completely random ass, like, stupid segment that ended terribly with the League of Irrelevancy coming out. So we're just going to skip that. Next to something even worse, we had a match that was not announced. We had R-Truth versus Curtis Axel of the Social Outcasts for whatever reason. This match was terrible. At one point, Goldust came out to try and help R-Truth. And he kind of like threw Adam Rose in the ring by accident, and it kind of like got R-Truth off guard, and then Curtis Axel rolls up R-Truth for the win. So Goldust tries to come out and give R-Truth another reason for him to be his tag team partner, and instead he ends up fucking him over. So we'll see if they end up becoming a tag team for WrestleMania or something. I'm not sure. But yeah, so really stupid, pointless match. I don't even want to give it a rating because it was literally like 3 minutes long, and it was fucking terrible. And yeah, that's all I'm going to say about that match. Moving on to the main event of the evening, we had R-Truth, yeah. In his mind, he was in the main event. We had Roman Reigns versus Dean Ambrose versus Brock Lesnar. This match lasted about 20 minutes long. First, it was basically just Lesnar beating the shit out of both of them. At one point, he gave an F5 to both of them. I think he hit a total of 9 suplexes on to both of them combined. The crowd was really behind Brock Lesnar in this match, and they were also behind Dean Ambrose because he's from Cincinnati, and they were in Cleveland tonight, so the home state of Dean Ambrose. But it was a lot of Brock Lesnar pop and a lot of heat for Roman Reigns. So the crowd was going along with the suplex count. And then at one point, the action spews out to the ring, or to the outside of the ring. And Dean Ambrose and Reigns decide to team up on Brock Lesnar and put him through an announce table with the Shield Power Bomb, which is pretty cool. And then right after they do that, Ambrose starts beating the hell out of Reigns. So, they beat up on Lesnar, and then they every man for themselves after that. Ambrose actually hits Dirty Deeds, and Reigns kicks out of it, and then after that they're both kind of like laying there because they're exhausted, and then they see Lesnar start to get up, and Ambrose kind of like, holy shit, like get up, man, like we gotta take him out again. So then they get back to the outside of the ring. They put Lesnar through another announce table. There was 3 announce tables. There was the Spanish, the English, and then they had a German. They had a German announce table. So yeah, they put him through the Spanish to start, and then they put him through the English announce table for the next one. And so that was pretty cool. They put Lesnar through 2 different announce tables, and then they kind of just like throw all the shit from like the debris from the announce tables on top of Lesnar as like a fucking barricade or some shit. And yeah, so Lesnar's like covered in the debris of the announce tables, and then he kind of Reigns attacks Ambrose this time, so they're fighting in the ring, and Reigns is about to go for, they fight back and forth for a while, and he's about to go for a Samoan drop, and then Lesnar comes out of nowhere and suplexes Roman Reigns, who has Dean Ambrose, he has Dean Ambrose on his back, about to do a Samoan drop, so all 3 guys flip back, which is pretty awesome, and then Lesnar just starts beating the shit out of, I think it was Dean Ambrose. Or no, it was Roman Reigns, sorry. And then the match ends on a pretty stupid way. Ambrose comes back into the ring with 2 steel chairs. Actually, going back to that, I just remembered what it was. Lesnar puts Reigns in the Kimura lock, and it looked like Reigns was going to tap for a while, and then he kind of like powers out of it, but Lesnar still has the Kimura like locked on, even though Reigns has him in the air. And then Ambrose comes out of nowhere with a chair and just hits Lesnar in the back with it twice, so he finally gets out of the Kimura. And then he hits Reigns with it a couple times, and then he gives Lesnar like one last chair shot that like knocks him out of the ring. And then he turns around into a spear by Roman Reigns, and there you go. The ending of the match was just a spear by Roman Reigns on the Dean Ambrose for the win. So there you go. No interference from the Wyatt family that everyone thought that was going to happen when Lesnar would get screwed over. But instead, he just gets screwed over by chair shots and falls out of the ring and the 2 announce tables he went through. And so yeah, Roman Reigns getting a lot of heat, is going on to face Triple H at WrestleMania. So we'll see what happens with that. I thought that match could have ended a lot better, but the crowd was, not happy about it because they did not want to see Roman Reigns win. He won last year at Fastlane, beating Daniel Bryan, so it's 2 years in a row. Roman Reigns has got his ticket to WrestleMania in the main event through a Fastlane match. And so, yeah, Roman Reigns is celebrating. Triple H just comes out, and they kind of have like a stare down, and yeah, he kind of like puts the title up towards the WrestleMania sign, and they have like the one camera shot of them 2 looking at each other with the WrestleMania sign. So it's going to be Roman Reigns versus Triple H, folks. So, I don't know. The roster's so depleted right now, as we've been saying for the last couple months. Who knows what's going to happen? No surprise returns happened. I don't know. I'm thinking there's going to be something happening tomorrow night, though, on Raw, because they were talking about that the Vince McMahon Excellence Award, or whatever the hell it's called, is going to open the show tomorrow night. So I'm thinking whoever receives that, maybe it'll be somebody like we were saying, like Hulk Hogan or somebody like that, and having somebody come back. But I think we might get a big return tomorrow and have a better idea of what WrestleMania picture is going to look like. But yeah, so we're opening the show tomorrow night with the Excellence Award. So maybe there will be maybe there'll be some kind of swerve or something. But as it looks now, WrestleMania card does not look that great. We don't even know who the hell the Undertaker is going to face. And Triple H versus Roman Reigns, I mean, in typical, I think we all know that Roman Reigns is going to win, unless they come up with some kind of swerve. There's no Money in the Bank, there's nothing, no cash-ins possible, so I don't know what the hell they're going to do. Maybe they'll announce like a special guest referee for that match, but not really looking forward to that match. And as far as the card goes, That was about it for Fastlane, guys. I actually was expecting more from this pay-per-view, to be honest. I expected it to be a really good pay-per-view, and it just kind of fell short of the expectations, to be honest, mostly because 2 out of 3 Falls match was terrible, and it was on the pre-show. The Wyatt Big Show Kane Ryback match was awful. The other filler match was terrible. The Cutting Edge Peep Show segment was pretty bad, the way it ended with the League of Nations, and the way the Triple Threat ended, I thought it could have been booked a little bit better. I'm sure Kyle Masters will agree with most of that. And yeah, that's gonna about do it for the review of Fastlane 2016. I'm gonna give it, out of 5, I'll give it a 3.5 at most. I was hoping to give it like a 4.5 because I really thought it was gonna be a good pay-per-view. Sasha Banks winning will bump it up to a 3.5. So that's gonna about do it. Thanks for tuning in to this episode of No Holds Barred Wrestling Podcast. You can follow us on Twitter at No Holds Barred Wrestling Podcast. You can follow myself, Corporate Cappy, at Corporate Cappy. And you can follow Kyle Masters at Real Kyle Masters on Twitter. And check out our channel, subscribe. All the links will be in the description below. And we'll have to see what Raw looks like tomorrow. Hopefully, it's going to be good as the first Raw leading up to WrestleMania. So that's going to about do it. Thanks for watching, guys.
Be in my zone. I got this, I'ma do it all alone. I don't need your help.